infield. Heat race number 1 set to go green on a turn 4. 8 laps, top 5 to the 8, top 2 redraw. Starting spots 1 through 8 in the 30-lap feature event. Nick Collins shows them the green. Hammer down in the 1. Justin Clark on the bottom of the racetrack. To his outside races Bryce Lucius. They go wing to wing down the backstretch behind them. Sean Rahal, DJ Foose side by side. Lap number 1 led by Bryce Lucius. Justin Clark in that second spot. Sean Rahal up the 3rd. Here comes Casey Jedrzejek in the 11 and up to the 4th spot. Foose back to 5th. Big slider in 3 and 4 for Casey Jedrzejek. He'll take the 3rd spot. He'll bring along DJ Foose in the 4th. Bryce Lucius flying out front of this one. Justin Clark upside down. Sean Rahal upside down in turn 4. Six to go. Heat race number 1. Bryce Lucius, Justin Clark, Casey Jedrzejek, DJ Foose, and Larry Kingsey Jr. Your top 5. Green back out. Bryce Lucius pulls away down the backstretch. Here comes Casey Jedrzejek. Takes a peek to the inside of DJ Foose. Almost contact. Big bike. He'll lose 2 spots in turns 3 and 4. That'll move Leighton Wagner into the 5th and final transfer spot. Cross flags go in the air. 4 and 4 to go for Bryce Lucius. Justin Clark, DJ Foose. Larry Kingsey Jr.'s got some pressure now from Leighton Wagner. Move Leighton Wagner into that 5th and final transfer spot, but Casey Jedrzejek trying to rebound. Big run into 3 and 4 on the bottom, pushes Wagner up the racetrack. He'll regain that 5th and final transfer spot. White flag in the air one more time around for Bryce Lucius. Justin Clark, DJ Foose, Larry Kingsey Jr., and Casey Jedrzejek. Pace truck will hit the infield. You're ready to rock and roar in turn 4. Next time by 8 laps, top 5 to the 8. Pitter patter, let him scatter in turns 1 and 2. Zest Sable with the big lead, but look at Cap Henry, shot out of a cannon. He started 4th in this one. He's up to 2nd, looking for the lead out of turn 4. Zest Sable leads lap 1. Cap Henry up to 2nd. Bobby Elliott off the high side of turns 3 and 4 to bring out the caution. So we will rack them and stack them and try that again, I believe. Good start for Zest Sable. Let's see what Cap Henry can do on the high side of the racetrack. He'll move up to the 3rd spot, not done yet. Looks for 2nd, right on the rear bumper. Your leader through turns 3 and 4. Problems for Tyler Street and Cody Bova. Cody Bova stops the entrance of turn 3. Tyler Street, don't know if the car popped out of gear or what, but he lost speed quickly. Third time's a charm here for heat race number 2 for the Catalyst Performance Products 410 Sprints. And out. Zest Sable for the 3rd time. Gets a good jump into turns 1 and 2. Tyler Street falls back into 2nd, up to 3rd. Cap Henry 4th. Reed Kiminoff. We're going to get a lap in. Zest Sable out front the races for 2nd. Tyler Street, Cap Henry. That's a redraw spot. Reed Kiminoff in 4th. Bobby Elliott in 5th and final transfer position. He's got company from the 68G, though, of Tyler Gunn. Aaron Nida gets in on that fun as well. Zeth Sabo. His lead just a tick under a second. As the cross flags go in the air, 4 in, 4 to go. Tyler Street runs second, Cap Henry third. Henry a little tight middle of the racetrack. That allows Creek Kemenaw to close in on Cap Henry for that third spot. Cushion about midway up the banking. Cody Bova keeps going. Some excitement there in turn 2. Here comes Creek Kemenaw pressuring Cap Henry for that third spot. There's the white flag one more time around for Zeth Sabo. Pace struck the infield, third final heat race for the Catalyst Performance Products 410 sprints. Goes green. TJ Michael with the advantage into turns 1 and 2. Here comes Chris Andrews, big run into second. Zane DeVault up to the third spot. Andrews down to the inside of TJ Michael, can't make the pass stick. Zane DeVault in third, Brian Sabino fourth, Trey Jacobs in the fifth and final transfer spot. Brian Sabino underneath Zane DeVault, big flyer in 3 and 4. They go side, they make contact out of turn 4. Oh, Brian Sabino upside down in turn 2. Brian Sabino made contact with Zane DeVault here exiting turn 4. Got into the cushion. The car bit really hard in the middle of turn 2. And upside down he goes. Doesn't even look like he hurt the top wing at all. Just a big pirouette in the 0-1. TJ Michael drops the hammer in turn 4. Go right down the bottom of 1 and 2. Bring along Chris Andrews, Zane DeVault, Trey Jacobs. Cody Brewer, your top 5. TJ Michael pulling away comfortably to the cross flags halfway home, heat race number 3. Chris Andrews, no problem in second. Zane DeVault third. Trey Jacobs fourth. Cody Brewer fifth. Dan McCarron, Dylan King to complete the field. White flag goes in the air for TJ Michael. His lead nearly 2 seconds down the backstretch. Turns 3 and 4, one final time. He will take the Auto Kineton Heat Race 3 win. Second. We'll go to Chris Andrews third. Taking him on fourth. Trey Jacobs third. Cody Brewer. Dan McCarron and Dylan King round out the field. Group pace truck to the infield. First of 4 heat races for the Fremont Fence and Guardrail 305 sprints. 8 laps, top 4 to the A. Here we go. Green out. Brendan Torok grabs the lead in turns 1 and 2. Logan Monjou falls back to second. Going to take a peek the inside of Torok, thinks better of it. Race for the third spot. Paul Weaver in the 1W. Brandon Moore in his new ride. Adams Racing 12X in that fourth and final transfer spot. Paul Weaver now the inside of Logan Monjou will take the runner-up position. Brendan Torok. A lot of top fives last year, just could not get it in victory lane. Had a couple of features that looked like he was going to win. Mechanical issue or tire going flat. Out front of this one, Paul Weaver, all-time winningest driver in the history of Attica Raceway Park, runs in that second spot. Logan Monjou in third. Brandon Moore, the final transfer spot, up to fifth. Randy Rubel in the 63 machine. Austin Black in the seventh spot. Mike Moore eighth. And Zach Kramer completes the field. Brendan Torok out front of this one. Paul Weaver right to his rear bumper. Laps winding down. 2 laps remaining in heat race number 1. White flag in the air for Brendan Torok. Green out for heat race number 2 of 4 for the 305s. Blaine Keckler grabs the lead down the backstretch. His car owner, Jamie Miller, takes a peek to the outside. He'll take the second spot. Looking for the lead in the 1 and 2. Everybody down the bottom of the racetrack, Jamie Miller says, hold on, I'm going up to the cushion, and he'll take the lead down the backstretch. Miller picking up the win on opening night. Up right where he left off in 2024. He pulls away now from Blaine Keckler. Steve Watts in that third spot. Fourth to Sean Bellini. That's the final transfer position. Fifth to John Ivey. Sixth, Jackson Sabito. Steve Rando in that seventh spot. And eighth to Jimmy McCune Jr. There's the cross flags. 4 in, 4 to go. Sean Bellini now into the third spot. Sean Bellini has won in modifieds, stock cars, 305 sprints, 410 sprints, dirt trucks. White flag in the air. Going into tonight's feature event. Steve Watts will hang on to that fourth spot. Sean Bellini in third. Second to Blaine Keckler. And make some noise for the winner. Your defending track champion out of Fremont, Ohio. How about it for Jamie Miller? Green out of turn 4. Dustin Dine and Double D grabs the lead out of turn 2. Daniel Hoffman back to second. Here comes Casey Ziebold, head of steam in the X15. The inside of Hoffman. They go wing to wing. Hoffman up the racetrack, opens the door. Ziebold into the second spot. Daniel Hoffman back to third. He gets into the rear bumper of Casey Ziebold. She goes around in turn 2. Back out. Dustin Dinan out front of this one. Daniel Hoffman in that second spot. He'll slide up the racetrack. Seth Schneider in the third position. Final transfer spot of the 18 of Ben Watson. Keep an 9, X15 and Casey Ziebel trying to work her way back up to the top 4. Dustin Dinan pulling away. His lead over 2 seconds down the backstretch. Daniel Hoffman, Seth Schneider, Ben Watson, Casey Ziebold up to the 5th spot. Still has 4 laps to try to get back into the top 4. Almost a 2.5 second lead for Dustin Dinan as he flies through turns 3 and 4. There goes Casey Ziebel into the 4th and final transfer spot. Tony Alvarez problems here on the front stretch. Single file past the Truck Works of Ohio restart cone, green and white out. Here we go. Dustin Dinan picks up where he left off. White out a 2.6 second lead, but he'll take the heat race win. Daniel Huffman will hang on to second. Here's the Raceway third, giving Seth Schneider edging out Casey Ziebel. Final heat race for the Fremont Men's and Guardrail 305 sprints, followed by 3 heats of the Dirt Nerds Podcast UMP late models. B main for the 410, 2 B mains for the 305s. Here we go, green out. Brad Bateson getting the warning for taking off too early in the 0. Pedal out of turn 4, green out. Braden Harrison, Bradley Bateson side by side out of turn 2 for the lead. Move Bateson to the point. Harrison back to second. Here comes Jimmy McGrath Jr. in the 5 Junior. McGrath the inside of Harrison. He'll take the second spot in the 3 and 4. Jim Leeser in that 4th and final transfer spot. Bradley Bateson out front, Jimmy McGrath Jr. second, now the race for 3rd. Braden Harrison and Jim Leeser. Close quarters there, they both slide up the racetrack. Wow. For the 8 of Jim Leeser as he coasts to a stop here on the front stretch. Single file past that Truck Works of Ohio restart cone. Bradley Bates and Jimmy McGrath Jr. pull away. Braden Harrison off the racetrack, tries to keep it back on. Here comes Brian Razum racing to his inside. For that 3rd spot, he'll take it out of turn 4. Harrison back to the final transfer spot with Keith Whaley right on their rear bumper. Battling for the lead. Here comes McGrath down to the inside of Bateson. Big run off the bottom of turn 2 for Jimmy McGrath Jr. He'll slide up into the lead at the white flag. Mike Boris charges to the lead out of turn 4. Carter Schlenk in that second spot, but he's got company from flying Ryan Markham. The veteran and the teenager duking it out for that redraw spot. Markham leans on Schlenk out of turn 4. He'll take the runner-up position. Mike Boris flies out front though. Track widening out after that track work now. Guys trying that high side of the speedway in 1 and 2. Cross flags 4 and 4 to go for Mike Boris. Ryan Markham. Carter Schlenk, Casey Noonan. Dusty Moore. Dylan Jessen and Braden Shields. Mike Boris's lead 1.3 seconds down the backstretch. Boris picking up a win here last year, as did Ryan Markham. Carter Schlenk trying to follow in his dad's footsteps. Runs in that third spot at the white flag. Down the backstretch one final time for Mike Boris. Boris through turns 3 and 4. He'll take the heat race win. Flying Ryan Markham in second. Carter Schlenk in third. Casey moving fourth. Dusty Moore in that fifth spot. Race number 2 goes green. Kent Brewer leads the charge into turns 1 and 2. Kent Brewer out in the lead of this one. Spangler into the second spot, up to third. Rusty Schlenk. Josh Robertson in fourth. David Ellis fifth. Austin Gibson sixth. Throw a blanket on the top 3 out of turn 2. Kent Brewer, Eric Spangler, Rusty Schlenk. As they race to the cross flags 4 and 4 to go, heat race number 2. Kent Brewer, who had dirt truck wins at the Fremont Speedway last year, into the lead from third goes Rusty Schlenk. What a move in 3 and 4. And already pulling away Rusty Schlenk. Now Eric Spangler takes the second spot from Kent Brewer. Josh Robertson continues to hold down the fourth position. Right on his rear bumper, though, the 29 of Nate Potts. White flag in the air for Rusty Schlenk. Turn number 4, taking the heat race win. Going to be Rusty Schlenk, second to Eric Spangler. Third, Kent Brewer. Moving into that third spot. Now fourth, Nate Potts, Josh Robertson David Ellis spins. That'll put Austin Gibson in 6th. B-Main next up for the Volt 10 sprints as we go green on the last heat for the UMP late models. Kyle Moore jumps in the lead out of turn 2. Here comes the missile, Ryan Missler into the 2nd spot. 3 wide for the lead in 3 and 4. Devin Shields down on the bottom of the racetrack. Devin Shields, Ryan Missler door to door for 2nd. Moves Shields up to the runner-up spot. Here comes Colin Shipley in the 46 and the 01 gets into the side of Ryan Missler, tears the rear quarter panel off. The 01, wow, Justin Chance. And he's gonna go pit side. Kyle Moore out front of this one, Devin Shields in 2nd. Smoke out of the 50 of Ryan Missler, that might be tire rub on the left rear quarter panel of the 50. Colin Shipley, Chester Fitch complete the field. 4 laps in, 4 to go. I believe that is tire rub on the left rear tire of Ryan Missler. He made heavy contact down here in turn 4 with the 01. Here comes the 5-time track champion. The 51 of Devin Shields takes a peek to the inside of Kyle Moore in turn 2. They race to the white flag, nose to tail down the backstretch. And there went the left rear tire of Ryan Missler. Got close. That tire rubbing against the left rear quarter panel. That tire just couldn't take any more and explodes down the backstretch. Single file past that truck, Works of Ohio, restart cone. Nick Collins flips it over green out in the speedway. Devin Shields takes a peek to the inside of Moore. Moore slams the door down the backstretch as they race to the white flag. Kyle Moore pulling away down the backstretch. 2 left-hand turns. And he'll put the 1 star up front of this heat. Devin Shields 2nd, Colin Shipley 3rd, and Chester Fitch. So the 2 eligible for the redraw. Devin Shields comes home in that 2nd spot and makes some noise for the winner out of Mansfield, Ohio, on the 1 star. How about it for Kyle Moore? For your computer man B-Main. Blake Wagner grabs the lead out of turn 2. Tyler Gunn back to 2nd. Here comes Stuart Brubaker in the 35 on the bottom of the racetrack. Gunn holds on the 2nd, but Brubaker's right there to challenge. Darren Nida runs in that 4th position. Mike Keegan the 5th and final transfer spot. Nida to the inside of Stuart Brubaker. Can't complete the pass, but he's right there knocking on the door for 3rd. Blake Wagner pulls away from Tyler Gunn and Stuart Brubaker, Darren Nida, Mike Keegan, your top 5. Dan McCarron, Cody Bova, Jerry Doms, and Dylan Keegan complete the field. Blake Wagner's lead, 1.6 seconds down the backstretch as he completes lap number 6, 4 to go. Tyler Gunn now comfortably in 2nd. Stuart Brubaker, no challenge for 3rd. Darren Nida 4th. Mike Keegan, your top 5. 94 track champion at the Wayne County Speedway. Continues the lead, Tyler Gunn, a former Fast on Dirt champion. Former Attica champion runs third. And Stuart Brubaker. There, 9 of fourth. Mike Keegan in that fifth spot as the white flag is displayed to Leighton Wagner. Go. Randy Rubel out front. Austin Black slides into the second spot. Ben Watson in third. Zach Kramer from the tail to the fourth position. Top three move on. Rubel stretching his legs down the backstretch. Austin Black in that second spot. Now from the tail up to the final transfer spot, the 8K is Zach Kramer. Watson back to fourth. Mike Moore in fifth. David Hoppus completing the field. Winding down in the first of two B mains for the Fremont Fencing Guardrail 305 sprints. Randy Rubel racing to the white flag. The race is now for second. Austin Black and Zach Kramer. Mike Moore catching those two as the white flag goes in the air. Flag falls for Randy Rubel, second. Going to go to Austin Black. Final transfer to Zach Kramer. John Ivey pulls away down the backstretch. Jackson Sabito in that second spot. Jimmy Leeser trying to muscle his way into the third spot. Here comes Steve Rando on the high side in the 19R to the outside of Jimmy Leeser. They go side by side out of turn two. Move Steve Rando into the third and final transfer spot. Been all John Ivey in this one. His lead 2.5 seconds at the cross flag. Here's the race for second, Steve Rando. Rando started fifth in this one, and he is up to second. Now back to the third and final transfer spot, Jackson Sabito. Two laps to go in the final preliminary of the evening. This is the 3A mains. What we have left, John Ivey races to the white flag. Steve Rando in second. Acevedo third, Jim Leeser fourth, Jimmy McCune Jr. fifth, and Keith Whaley round out the field. Checkered flag in the air for John Ivey. Make some noise as they come out of turn 4. Show your appreciation for the drivers' efforts here tonight at Attica Raceway Park. What do you say, Attica? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages at Attica Raceway Park, it's time to get dirty for 30! Chris Andrews slingshot engage into the lead. Justin Clark back to second. Up to third, Seth Sabo. Battle for fourth, Cap Henry and Creed Kimmenaugh. Oh, Kimmenaugh gets over the wheel of Cap Henry. The car bounces around and he's going to come to a stop in turns 3 and 4. Justin Clark in second. Zeth Sabo third. Cap Henry fourth. Bryce Lucius, your top 5. Here we go. Single file past the Truck Works of Ohio restart cone. Green is out. Justin Clark down to the inside of Chris Andrews, can't make the pass. Andrews leads lap 2 over Justin Clark, Zeth Sabo, Bryce Lucius now up into the 4th spot. Andrews comfortably out front, no challenge for second. Here comes Bryce Lucius, bottom of the racetrack. Closing in on Zeth Sabo for the 3rd spot. Now Cap Henry takes a peek underneath Lucius for that 4th position. Slide job in turns 3 and 4. Cap Henry into the 4th spot. Keep an eye on the 7 star. Tyler Street moves into the 6th position. 5 laps in the lead, 1.8 seconds for Chris Andrews. Comfortably out front, but he will catch the back of the pack here shortly, and they are racing side by side. Look at Tyler Street and the new ride for him in 2025, the King and Racing 7 star. Lead still maintained at 1.8 seconds. Zeth Sabo starting to reel in. Justin Clark ever so slightly. 7 laps in, this time by for Chris Andrews. 8 laps, excuse me. Andrews has caught the back of the pack, and they are racing side by side. Andrews' lead has shrunk by 0.2 of a second. 1/3 of the way home for Chris Andrews. Justin Clark, Zeth Sabo, Cap Henry, Tyler Street, Bryce Lucius, Zane DeVault, TJ Michael, DJ Foose, and Casey Jedrzejek. Lap traffic ahead for your leader. The lead down to under a second. Top 4 run nose to tail down the backstretch. Chris Andrews having problems in lap traffic. His lead now just 0.9 of a second. Laps in, this time by, and here comes Justin Clark and Zeth Sabo. The lead at 0.6 of a second. Clark to the rear bumper of Chris Andrews. He'll bring along Zeth Sabo, throw a blanket on the top 3. Red, red, red. On the backstretch. Two cars upside down on the backstretch. Pace truck ducks in to the infield. Chris Andrews out front of this one. Justin Clark in second. Zeth Sabo third. Cap Henry fourth. Tyler Street in the fifth position. Hammer drop green out. Justin Clark right down to the bottom of the racetrack. Tries the slider on Chris Andrews. Takes the lead. They go side by side down the backstretch into turns 3 and 4. Andrews back to the point. On the move, Zane DeVault. Zane DeVault started 10th in this one. He is up to 5th. Chris Andrews off the bottom of turn 4. This time he goes down to the bottom of 1 and 2. Justin Clark can't get that run to his outside. He learned from that last restart. Here comes Cap Henry on the move into the third spot. Chris Andrews, Justin Clark, Cap Henry, Zeth Sabo battle for 5th. Here comes the 32 of Bryce Lucius on the move. Ten laps to go. Here comes Justin Clark. Clark down to the inside slider in 1 and 2. New leader out of turn 2, Justin Clark. Andrews tries to return the favor and does in turn 4. Clark with a big run on Andrews again in the 3 and 4. 8 laps to go. Cody Brewer spins in turn 4 to bring out the caution with 22 laps in the books. Chris Andrews, Justin Clark duking it up out front. Cap Henry has now moved into that third spot. Here we go. Green out. Andrews back down to the bottom. Clark going to go to the cushion in 1 and 2. Justin Clark, big run. Here comes Bryce Lucius into the 4th spot. Stuart Brubaker from 18th to 7th, and he's not done yet. 6 laps to go. My goodness, look at this battle for 4th. Zane DeVault, Bryce Lucius, Stuart Brubaker, and Zeth Sabo. Look at Stuart Brubaker into the top 5 from 18th. 5 flanges in the air, 5 to go. Nose to tail, up front, Chris Andrews and Justin Clark. Cap Henry comfortably in 3rd, Bryce Lucius now 4th. Stuart Brubaker, Zane DeVault battle for 5th. 3 to go this time by. What a run for Stuart Brubaker. 18th to 5th. 2 laps to go. Here comes Justin Clark. Clark within 2 car lengths. The lead, 0.2 of a second. Red on the front stretch. Oh, no. Oh, Stuart Brubaker. Stuart Brubaker out of the car, walking away. See if he repeats that. Clark likes the high side of 3 and 4. Zane DeVault with that front wing laying down on the front of the race car. It's going to affect the handling of the number 4. Here we go. Green out, 2 to go. White flag in the air out of turn 4 for Chris Andrews. Andrews down the backstretch. Justin Clark, big run out of turn 2. Checkered flag in the air. Clark to the cushion in 3 and 4. Here they come, Chris Andrews. By 0.112 seconds. Well, now that all the features are over, it is starting to sprinkle a little bit. Chris Andrews, I made mention of it during the feature that get your American beer, yeah. That last couple years just didn't go as planned. But you came out swinging. This car was fast 2 weeks ago, had some mechanical issues, but able to hold on for your win. I think it's your 11th 410 win here.
Yeah, Andrew Barman, Brandon Reel, worked pretty hard to put this deal together. Sucks, we didn't have this success, but appreciate all the work they put in. But yeah, we got hooked up here. AJ Havens and Michael, Caden, everybody's been working their butts off, and it's been a lot of work, and it's finally paying off.
Congratulations. I know you said you get this American beer. You brought this new sponsor on. We sell it here at Attica. Pretty cool deal, too.
Yeah, Hulk Hogan got his new beer, so I think it's probably the most popular beer right now. I think everybody should go buy it. So, got to thank all the sponsors, Kistler Engines and Ohio Truck Sales, Kistler Racing Products, the whole shebang on the car. Without them, we wouldn't be able to do this.
Feels good to be back in victory lane, doesn't it?
It does. It's been a while. The last restart there, I'm like, I better not screw this up. In my mind, I already won, and I'm just thinking something stupid's going to happen. So, but second race in, it feels pretty good to get a win and get that out of the way and just focus.
Chris Andrews gets it done in the Callie's Performance Products 410 Sprints. Here they come. Out of turn 4, make some noise. Attica Raceway Park. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's time to jump and jive for 25. Brian Missler going to lead lap number 1 over Mike Boris. The battle is for third. Rusty Schlenk, Kyle Moore, and Ryan Markham. Look at this battle for second now. Mike Boris and Rusty Schlenk touch fenders. Here comes Kyle Moore and Ryan Markham. They go 3 wide for third down the backstretch. Yellow, yellow, yellow on the speedway. Rusty Schlenk with 44 career late model wins here at Attica Raceway Park. Green is out. Missler continues to lead, but here comes Rusty Schlenk. Ryan Markham into the third spot. Kyle Moore fourth. Mike Boris trying to hold off Devin Shields for the 5th position. Debris here on the front stretch brings out the caution again with 4 laps in. Here we go. Green back out, single file restart. Rusty Schlenk takes a peek to the inside of Ryan Missler. Schlenk down to the inside. Missler up against the cushion, side by side for the lead. Markham trying to hold off Kyle Moore for third. Dropped in turn 4, here we go. Missler to the cushion in 1 and 2, Schlenk down to the bottom. Here comes Ryan Markham. Markham takes a peek to the inside of Rusty Schlenk for second. Kyle Moore going to get in on that fun as well. Throw a blanket on the top 4 down the backstretch. Schlenk to the inside of Missler. Yellow, yellow, yellow. Dropped in turn 4. Single file pass that. Truck Works of Ohio restart home. Green back out. Here comes Rusty Schlenk racing to the inside of Ryan Missler. Slide job in 3 and 4 for the lead. Can't make it stick. Missler, Schlenk. Good race for third right behind them. Ryan Markham in the 5M, Kyle Moore in the 1 star. Side by side for the lead once again. Mike Boris lurking in that 5th position. Devin Shields in 6th. Eric Spangler 7th. Colin Shipley 8th. Side by side for the lead with 9 laps in. Lap traffic ahead. New leader on a turn 4, Rusty Schlenk. Your leaders making their way through lap traffic with 11 laps in. Here comes Missler to the inside of Rusty Schlenk. They split the lap car into 3 and 4. That allows Ryan Markham to close in on Ryan Missler as they race in the lap traffic. Mike Boris up to the 4th spot. Here comes Devin Shields in the 51 into the top 5. 14 laps get scored this time by for Rusty Schlenk, Ryan Missler, Ryan Markham. Good race for the 4th spot. Devin Shields, Mike Boris, and Kyle Moore. A little bit of clear track now for Rusty Schlenk and Ryan Missler. Nine laps to go for Rusty Schlenk. The lead, 1.1 seconds. Mike Boris runs in 4th, 5th Devin Shields, Kyle Moore 6th. What a race for that 4th spot. Mike Boris, Devin Shields, and Kyle Moore. Five flanges go in the air, this time out of turn 4. Excuse me, that was 19 laps in, my mistake. Now 5 flanges go in the air, 5 laps to go for Rusty Schlenk, picking his way through traffic. His lead just 9/10 of a second. Ryan Missler can see the back of the 91 down the backstretch. Move Devin Shields up to the 4th position. 3 laps to go out of turn 4 for Rusty Schlenk. Missler still within striking distance. Ryan Markham runs 3rd, 4th, Devin Shields 5th. Yellow, yellow, yellow on the Speedway car up against the front stretch wall, exiting turn 4. Hammer dropped out of turn 4. Here we go. Schlenk right down the bottom of the racetrack. Ryan Markham with a big run on the cushion in turn 2, takes a peek to the inside of Ryan Missler. He'll slide into the 2nd spot. Schlenk pulls away, but a great battle for 2nd. Ryan Markham, Ryan Missler, Devin Shields, and Kyle Moore. White flag in the air out of turn 4 for Rusty Schlenk. Oh, they make contact on the front stretch. Wow. Checkered flag, 2 in a row for Rusty Schlenk. Devin Shields will come home 2nd. Ryan Markham in 3rd, 4th, Ryan Missler and Kyle Moore, your top 5. Back-to-back wins to open the season here at Attica Raceway Park. He's already in street clothes. Boy, this thing, that's 2 weeks in a row. This thing has just been absolutely phenomenal. I don't know what more you can do to this car to get any more speed out of it.
I don't know. I feel the same way, man. We brought this thing, like I said last week, we built this new MK2 chassis, and it has been on point since we brought it out. We went down and tested at the end of the year last year at Tennessee National Raceway, and we haven't really touched nothing. It unloaded good, and we make some air pressure adjustments and a few shock changes each night, and it's on point. So we'll see how it goes as the season plays out, as these tracks start getting a little slicker. But so far, man, I couldn't ask for a better race car.
Congratulations, Rusty Schlenk. Back-to-back wins in the UMP late models. All right, race fans, up on your feet for the final time this evening, the wave lap. For the 305 sprints as they come down the front stretch, make some noise. Attica Raceway Park. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages at Attica Raceway Park, it's time to jump and jive for 25. Brendan Torok with the advantage into turns 1 and 2. Brandon Moore slides into the 2nd spot. Yellow, yellow, yellow. Again out of turn 4, 25 laps. Green up. Brandon Moore with the advantage now in 1 and 2, this time by. Brendan Torok in 2nd. Casey Siebold in 3rd. For the 4th spot, Casey Siebold and Jamie Miller. Into 2nd comes Jimmy McGrath Jr. Dustin Dinan on the move, started in the 10th spot. Up to 6th. Caution for the 14S. Nope. Not the 14S, the 09 of Daniel Huffman. Brandon Moore looking for his first career win at Attica Raceway Park, teaming up with the Jamie Adams Racing Team this season, and he'll lead them to the green flag. Jimmy McGrath Jr. looking for a second career win at Attica Raceway Park, runs in that second spot. Move Jamie Miller into the third position. Five laps in. Brandon Moore flying out front. Jimmy McGrath Jr. second. Jamie Miller third. Seth Schneider now up to the fourth spot. Battle for fifth. Casey Zebold and Brendan Torok. Battle is for third now. Seth Schneider has caught Jamie Miller. Jimmy McGrath Jr. within 2 car lengths of your leader out of turn 4. Keep an eye on the 49i of John Ivey. Up into the 9th spot. He started back in 18th. Traffic lies ahead for your leader. 10 laps in, and they are racing side by side. His lead a tick under a second. Jamie Miller putting pressure on Jimmy McGrath Jr. for the runner-up position. Here comes Jamie Miller into second. Here comes Jamie Miller to the rear bumper of Brandon Moore. Miller has found something on the bottom of the racetrack in 1 and 2. Goes to the cushion in 3 and 4. 12 laps to go. There comes Jamie Miller, the inside slide job for the lead. That Truckworks of Ohio restart cone. Brandon Moore, Jamie Miller, Jimmy McGrath Jr. This time Moore goes down to the bottom of 1 and 2 to block Jamie Miller. Miller switches lines at 3 and 4 to his outside. They race wing to wing for the lead. Jamie Miller into the lead. Seth Schneider, Jimmy McGrath Jr. battling for that third spot. 10 laps to go, yellow, yellow, yellow. Single file restart, here we go. Hammer dropped in turn 4. Seth Schneider gonna stay right with Jamie Miller. Schneider tries to take a peek to the inside, can't get it done in 1 and 2. Paul Weaver elbows up in the 1W on the move. Paul Weaver into the 4th position. Here comes Seth Schneider. Big run on Jamie Miller in the 3 and 4. Seth Schneider gets tremendous bite off the bottom of turn number 2. Races for third, move Paul Weaver into the 3rd spot. Sands in the hourglass running thin. Jamie Miller, 6 laps to go. flanges go in the air for Jamie Miller. Seth Schneider continues to run second. Paul Weaver is ripping the lip in the 1W. Reeling in Seth Schneider and Jamie Miller. Look at Paul Weaver with 4 laps to go, closing the gap. Look out! Right in front of your leaders. Braden Harrison spins in turn 2 to bring out the caution. Here we go. Everybody to the bottom except the 1W. Rips the lip out of turn 2. Head of steam in the 3 and 4. 3 laps to go. Paul Weaver, the outside of Seth Schneider's Jamie Miller pulls away. 2 to go. Paul Weaver into second. Does he have enough time to catch Jamie Miller? White flag in the air for Jamie Miller. Steve Randall, 20th to 5th. Checkered flag. Back-to-back wins open the season for the defending track champion, Jamie Miller. Paul Weaver in second, Seth Schneider third, Jimmy McGrath Jr. fourth, and Steve Randall 20th to 5th. Win number 47 in the 305 sprints. Jamie Miller gets it done. This one wasn't quite as easy. The car wasn't as good as it was 2 weeks ago, but good enough to get you done.
Yeah, well, we were a little tight, and then in certain spots we were free, and I didn't want to push my luck. It didn't seem like I was very good up top tonight, and everybody was staying right with me on the bottom, so I moved down, managed to get the lead, and just hold on till the end.
That last caution, you had to look up the scoreboard and see that Paul Weaver was running third, and he was on the high side, believe it or not.
Oh, yeah. I did see he was up to third, and I thought about going up there, but, Soup Sable told me back in the day, you stick with what got you where you're at until you get past.
Yeah, you take words of advice from Soup Sable. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I listened a few times. You had to beat it through my head a couple times, but I got it.
Jamie Miller gets it done 2 weeks in a row here at Attica Raceway Park. That'll put a wrap on it. Thank you, race fans. Thank you, thank you, thank you.